I think we did this. No, I don't remember what we did. I think we did formal and informal sectors. Is it? Who can remember and tell me? Because if I'm not wrong, I think we did this. Distribution of workforce.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I only remember till tertiary sector. That.
Okay. Then I think we have to start from here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's just start, and today we'll just finish it, and tomorrow I will take your MCQ test for this. Okay. And for this chapter, because today I'll just finish off this chapter, and from tomorrow onwards we'll start with the next chapter. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Janab. Okay. So now first is indicators of economic development. So if you want to know about the economic development, you should focus on the 2 points. One is growth of employment and second is growth of GDP. If you over here, for example, earlier 10 people were employed in your country, but now 20 people are employed, right? So that means there is an economic development in your country. Plus, if there earlier your GDP was 20%, now your GDP is 30%. So again, there is an economic development. So these are basically the 2 indicators that will tell you whether there is an economic development in your country or not, right? And coming to next thing, which is basically like how the growth pattern of the employment and GDP affect different sectors of workforce. Okay, so see, remember one thing. Earlier, what we can see over here, primary, secondary, tertiary. Most of the people were engaged in primary sector, right? But now, how it is changing? Now people are shifting from primary sector to secondary and tertiary sector. So you can see earlier it was 74, but now 11, 12 it is only 48, right? And secondary it was 10.9, but for 2011-12 it is 24.3, right? For service sector it is 14.8, and for 11-12 you can see 26. So for secondary and service sector it is increasing, and for primary sector it is decreasing, right? So this is the pattern which India is following basically, right? And now coming to next thing, which is basically information of Indian workforce. Okay, there are 2 sectors. One is your formal sector, one is your informal sector. Okay, so formal sector means everything will be well defined, everyone will be working in a very good way, proper salary will be given, proper taxes you have to pay, everything will be proper. But informal is like, for example, I have a tea stall, that is a informal sector. So let's just see. Formal sector is also known as organized sector. So first of all, the workers working in formal sector get regular income like regular salary. They also enjoy social security benefits such as maternity benefit, provident fund, gratuity, and pension. And remember one thing, they earn more than those in the informal sector, right? And second is government through its labor law enable them to protect their rights in various ways. So government also supports them, and government also helps them to protect their legal rights. Okay, and then the formal sector workers form trade unions, bargain with employers for better wages and other social security measures. So over here, for example, I am working in a company, right? I feel like that they should increase my salary, so I can argue with them. Argue in the sense I can put my point, or I can bargain that no, I want this salary, this much hike or something like that, right? So this is what in a formal sector it usually takes place. Okay, but coming to informal sector, right? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But sometimes if you get a question like this, write 2 points difference between formal sector and informal sector. So over here, how you have to tell? First of all, you will write all the points like formal sector is this. In informal sector, people don't get regular income. They enjoy this and this benefit, but they don't enjoy this and this benefit. They earn more than those of informal sector. They earn less than formal sector. Government through labor laws enables to protect their rights, but here government do not protect their rights like this. So informal sector is totally opposite. Okay. Now coming to informal sector, basically, who are the people who comes in informal sector? So see, millions of farmers and the agriculture labor, right? The farmers and the agriculture laborers, they come in this informal sector. Second, owner of small enterprises and people working in those enterprises. So the people who are working in small enterprises, they also come in this sector. Plus self-employed people who do not have any hired workers. So I am the person, I have my tea stall. So I'm self-employed. So I don't have any worker under me. So again, I'm from informal sector. plus all the form casual wage laborers, like for example the people who are working in the construction side, the laborers, right, daily wages people, they all come under informal sector, right? Now coming to next, quality of employment has been deteriorating over the years. Very, very important topic. It is like in India, the quality of employment is deteriorating, means degrading. It's coming down and down. So how it is possible? So see, the reasons are this. Even after working for 10 to 20 years, workers in formal sector do not get maternity benefit, provident fund, and gratuity and pension. So though they are working for 10 to 20 years and all that, right? They do not get any maternity benefit, right? And plus provident fund and gratuity pension everything, right? So this is the issue, that they are not turning from informal sector to the formal sector. Second problem is that a person who is working in private sector get lower salary as compared to another person doing the same work but in the private public sector. Public sector is basically the government sector. For example, this is a doctor. He is doctor in government hospital, so he will get good salary. But the same doctor, if he works in public sector, like the public hospital, he will get less salary, right? So this is again the problem. That's why people don't want to go for the private sector, because they think like, see, they have to work same. A doctor is a doctor, he will be treating people and in same, everything is same. But again, only the sector is different, and again the salary difference is there. So that's again problem. Again, when the development plan was made, right, and it was said that if your economy will be growing, right, more and more people will be working from informal, or they will be shifting from informal sector to the formal sector, right? This was said, but this has not happened in India. In India, it is not seen. You can see this. Formal sector only 30 people are working, 30 million, and informal sector 443 million people are working. So over here, 6.3 people are only working in formal sector, and 93.7 people are working in informal sector. So again, this is a problem. So because of this reason, you can say that yes, ma'am, the quality of employment is deteriorating over years and years in India. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So now, first of all, you will read it from here. Formal sector, these 3 points. Informal sector, these are the people, and why the quality is deteriorating, 3 points. Okay. Wait.
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Now let's just start with the next topic. This. Since the late 1970s, India started paying attention to the enterprises and worker in the informal sector, right? So this is like, what are the reasons? See, now earlier you can see the condition of informal sector is totally bad, right? So now after 1970s or at last of 1970, India started paying. So what was the reason? So see this. This is due to following reason. First, employment in the formal sector is not growing. The percentage of people employed in the formal sector in the country is only 6%. You can see the table, right? So nobody was coming to formal sector. So this was very, you can say, a challenging situation. So that's why India started paying, attention to the informal sector. Then workforce and enterprises in the informal sector do not get regular income. So the people who are working in the informal sector, they were not getting regular income or something, so they were exploited. Then they do not have any protection or regulation from the government. So the people who are working in informal sector, they don't have any protection, nothing. Next, worker are diminished without any compensation. So dismissed. For example, someone is working in my tea stall. I said from tomorrow you need to come. They are dismissed and I am not even giving them the compensation. Right? Then technology used in the informal sector enterprises is outdated. So whatever technology they are using, it was outdated, and because of this there was no accounts of maintain how many people are they are hiring, what salary they are giving, nothing is there. So because of these reasons, the informal sector is lagging behind. That's why India sought, or the government sought, to pay attention to the informal sector. Then of late, owing to the efforts of international, so basically our organization was made, which is International Labour Organization. The Indian government has initiated the modernization of informal sector enterprises and provisions of social security measures to informal sector workers. So because of this reason, government focused on this and government decided to improve the situation. Clear? So you will quickly read it out.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's just do the next one, which is this. Meaning and types of unemployment. Right? So ma'am, what are basically the types of unemployment in the country? Right? So let's just do one thing. So first is meaning and types of unemployment. So see, according to economics defines an unemployed person who is not able to get the employment, right? A person who is not getting employment, that is unemployed, right? According to NSSO, right? This is an organization that has given a definition. Basically, he is saying that a situation, right, where those who are owning to lack of work, like because of lack of work, or they are willing to work but they are not getting the, you know, employment, right? They are the unemployed person, right? Now coming to there different types of unemployment prevailing in India. So there are different types of prevailing. First is a disguised unemployment. So ma'am, what is this? So for example, this is also known as hidden unemployment, right? So let's just take an example of a farm. I have a farm. Okay, I am doing agriculture. I am a farmer. So over here, what I want, like I want someone who will be, working in my farm. So I have already two people working in my farm, but my son is not getting a job. So what I said that, okay, meanwhile, what you can do, you can work in the farms, right? This is what I did. So though everyone can say that he is employed because he is working in my farms, right? But still he is unemployed. Why? Because there is no need for him, right? I have already two people who are working in my farm and I don't need it. So that is basically the disguised employment. So this is something where you can see that the person is employed but actually he is not. Taking the example of the farm. Then seasonal unemployment. Seasonal employment is basically for the agriculture people or for the farmers. Over here, for example, I'm working in this field, right? And I grew the crops and everything. And after that, like first, of course, to grow the crops, I'll take few months, like 1 month. And after that, in order to harvest the crop, there will be an in duration, like 5 to 6 months will be there, or 3 to 4 months will be there. So in between, I'm not working. So what I will do, I will go to the urban area. There I'll do a job, right? So for few seasons I am unemployed. Why? Because for agriculture there are only few particular seasons where you need to work, right? So this is called the season employment, where you are getting employment for a shorter period of time or according to seasons. Clear? Then coming to open unemployment. Open unemployment is basically where open means, I am not working, so I am open that okay, I want job and I don't have anything to do right now. This is what, right? So that is my open unemployment, where people are like going to standing in front of the areas, they are filling the forms for the job, they are visiting the website where there is a job vacancy and they are applying there. So that is the open unemployment. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so first you will read the meaning
Yes, ma'am.
and then the first type, then I'll scroll down to second and third type. Okay.
Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Okay, everyone done? So let's just do this next one. See, over here in India, what scholar says that in India, people cannot remain completely unemployed for longer period of time because their economic condition won't be allow them to do so. So they are saying that in India, people cannot be unemployed for longer period of time because it's not easy for them to remain unemployed because they have to serve, they have to support their family, right? So that's why. So what they do basically, whatever job they are getting, whether it's unpleasant or whether they are dangerous, they accept it, right? Because they want to get money and they want the job, right? Next is, what are the sources of data on unemployment? From where you are getting the data for the unemployed people? So first is report of Census of India. Second is National Survey Sample Organization report of employment and unemployment situation. Third is Directorate General of Employment and Training Data registration with Employment Exchange. This is what. Okay. Then coming to drawbacks and the criticism. What is this basically? So drawback and the criticism. See, most of the people say that okay, they are providing you the data that okay, this much population is employed or something like that, but they are not giving you the exact value, whether they are seasonally unemployed, whether they are partially employed, whether they are unemployed like this. So this is a criticism which people do. Okay. Now coming to next thing, what government is doing? Very very important topic. What government is doing to generate employment? So see, over here government or central government or the state government, they take a lot of initiatives, right? So first is MNREGA, which is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005. So this is what MNREGA is. Over here, when MNREGA is the initiative where you will be getting 100 days work, that means more than 30 days, 3 months you will be getting a job, and at the end of 100 days you will be getting your salary. This is what we do. So basically the people who are not getting job, they have to just register for this, and they will be selected for the work. They are basically unskilled manual worker. Okay. Now, first is government take initiative. Second is what government do through direct or indirect situation. Government basically passes the thing. Passes in the sense government basically provide an employment opportunity to the people. So direct is, for example, government started constructing the dam. Okay. So for administrative person, I just want to construct a building. Right. Also over here, what I'm doing, I'm just also like the industries, hotel and transport. Government need people. So what government basically do? Government hire people to work for them. So that directly they are working, right? Coming to indirect, indirect is basically what government is doing. Basically, for example, over here you have a few chocolates with you. Okay, you are generating chocolates, right? And now the problem is that okay, you are generating chocolate, but sugar is too expensive. So you decided that you won't be generating. Uh, for example, you were generating chocolate, and for chocolate you need sugar, right? Everyone needs sugar. So sugar was too expensive, right? So sugar was maybe 100 rupees. So with this 100 rupees, you were only producing one and two chocolate. Now what government did, basically government reduced the prices of sugar, or government started producing more sugar at cheaper prices. So now the price for this is 50 rupees. So now what you will do, now the price is cheaper, so you will produce more and more chocolate, right? For producing more and more chocolate, you need more and more people, so you will hire the people. So this is what government is contributing indirectly, right? So indirectly, government basically increase the enterprises. For example, government increase the production of sugar, and then the private enterprises which receive raw material from the government enterprises will also raise their output, and hence increase the number of employment opportunity in the economy. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you will read it first from here. Sources of data on unemployment, and then the drawbacks and all that. Then I'll do the then direct and indirect. Done, students?
No,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, okay, do it.
Okay, done, ma'am.
Okay. Now coming to the last topic of this chapter. Over here, the employment generation program initiated by the government. So basically, there are various programs like Rural Employment Generation Program, Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana, Swan Jayanti Sahari Rozgar Yojana. All this are basically the employment generation program for India from the government. Okay. Now all this aim, what is the aim for this? Basically over here they're aimed at elevating poverty through the employment generation. That's why they are also known as employment generation program. And along with all this, along with employment, they have some other motive as well, like primary health, primary education, rural drinking water, nutrition, assistance for people to buy income and employment generating assets, development of community assets by generating wage employment, construction of house and sanitations, laying of rural roads, development of waste, and all these are basically the examples as well. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now basically we are done with the chapter. So the last thing which I need to tell you over here, you know what, everything, this one, jobless growth. This is what I need to explain. So ma'am, what is jobless growth basically? See, for example, over here your GDP was 10 rupees, right? For example, this is your country. Over here the salary, 10 people are working, right? 10 people are working. So that's why like everyone, 10 people are here and everyone is getting 1